Hello to all my friends out there, and this is a short chat on 3 days of darkness, demons among us, targeted individuals, and false prophets. At night, I watch a lot of videos, and I learn a lot of stuff when I watch those videos. Some of it good, some of it ridiculous, but if the video shows some merit and it's like just totally boring, sometimes I'll watch it over a period of time. It's just too boring to watch for a whole 30-40 minutes. But if there's any merit to the videos, I watch them, and I posted one on my Twitter if you guys want to see it, and it was 3 days of darkness. Okay, this is a woman, and she had a dream. And dreams are always suspect because that's when Satan can come to us. Because we're vulnerable, we're asleep. So in this dream of darkness, she dreamed that we would have 3 days of darkness. And, we could have 3 days of darkness if the power goes out. It could, if it's overloaded. Another thing to think about is this situation in Venezuela. I'll go on to that in a second. Okay, so before the 3 days of darkness, there's supposed to be manifestations in the sky, and that tells us to run into our houses and to get into our houses. But the interesting thing is these manifestations are supposed to be like rainbow colors, right? And so after the flood, God gave the earth the sign of the rainbow, that we would never be flooded again. But in recent times, the rainbow has sprung up all around the place. And so, if you're seeing strange rainbow-like manifestations, thunderings and lightnings, which is probably a good idea, get in your house, and you're supposed to seal all the windows up, and we're going to be thrown into this darkness for 3 days. And so we're supposed to arrange to our families, what we're going to do if this 3 days of darkness happens. So I was thinking about 3 days of darkness. What you might want to do, whether there's 3 days of darkness or not, is prepare your dwelling so that you could be fairly comfortable with surviving in it for 3 days. The main thing is water. You can survive 3 days with no food, but you need water. I'm pretty sure you won't die, because in nursing homes it takes them about 30 days to kill you with no water. But still, you can be pretty miserable with no water. So make sure you have food, water, and candles. And one thing that could help is weapons and a dog. If someone tries to get in your house, your dog will alert you. And so anyway, you're supposed to cover your windows and cover your doors, because there's going to be demons out there. But there's demons out there now. If it is a demon doesn't have a body, and there's nothing to prevent a demon from getting into your house, whether your windows are covered or not. It's probably not a good idea during one of these times to open your doors up anyway. So if you want to watch the 3 days of darkness, that is on my Twitter. Okay, now about Venezuela. Okay, Venezuela had enough problems, but now, there's a political upheaval, right? There's like a coup. So anyway, what could happen too is these power grid failures could be manufactured to cause these kind of political upheavals. I saw a video. It was on. I have. I think it's CNN on my phone, and it was like a Venezuelan army. Guess what? All kids. I go, oh yeah, that is really not good. So, you know, what could happen is these supposed, now she was saying God is doing this, but you know, who is going to raise up an army of children? I mean, it's horrifying what can happen in the face. You know, social unrest after like 3 days of darkness. So just put that into the back of your mind. Okay, number 2, demons among us. Okay, demons have always been among us, you know. I think maybe there's a little bit more demon activity. People are more aware of it. People are more involved in occult activities, you know, trying to contact demons, which, what's bad about contacting demons is they might come. But what they're saying is that demons are actually among us as people. Okay, a demon or a spirit doesn't have a body. This is illogical. A demon or a spirit or an angel doesn't have a body. Humans have a body. So if there are demons among us, most likely those demons are inhabiting a body. They can inhabit a body to the point that the body is actually like their body. But I did see 2 things that I thought were super interesting and possibly a demon. And what I saw was a very, very huge guy. A huge guy. A blonde guy, like a Nordic. And he didn't seem exactly human. So you could use your discernment. And I also saw a guy, another man, and he was like almost blue. And both of them had like they seemed odd, you know, very, very odd. So demons among us, I think there's demons among us, demons masquerading as people. Well, I think, in my opinion, they would be inhabiting someone's body somehow. Okay, targeted individuals. Now, these are the videos I like. I like to watch these at night. They're super interesting to me. Okay, individuals say they're targeted by all kinds of things. Aliens, the government. Anyway, so there's just no rest from this targeting. Computer systems, 5G, all this kind of stuff. And so the thing about the targeted individuals that's kind of super interesting, there's very little evidence. There's like, and they act crazy. So that doesn't help their case. But if you've been targeted, you know, for a long time, yeah, that could drive you crazy. And their claims are always some crazy claims, which is where I come in. I love to hear these claims. I watch them. So, you know, the targeted individuals could be targeted by the government. They could be targeted by demons. They could be targeted by computer systems. They could be targeted from, I mean, they could be picking up stuff somehow, you know, just themselves. So those videos are super interesting. Some of them are targeted by aliens. Okay, there's aliens and there's demons. A lot of Christians are saying that aliens and demons are the same thing. I don't think so. I think there's aliens and then I think there's demons. And could people be targeted by aliens? Possibly, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I lived in El Cajon and we had, I think it was the Raelians or something, and so, you know, at one point they predicted that the aliens were coming and they all went up to a mountain and the aliens didn't come. And where I lived, a lot of people, you know, they were devotees to this pursuit of aliens, finding aliens, going out to the desert. Personally, I wouldn't care to find any. I think there is some evidence of aliens, and I love to watch the videos. And Area 51 is super interesting to me. And I would love to know what they said when President Clinton asked, "Is there aliens?" So aliens and demons. Also, these targeted individuals could be targeted by demons. Another thing is like, the people who have any kind of psychosis, that sort of thing. It could be induced by poor or nutrition. I think you'll be thrown into psychosis by very poor nutrition. So the best thing, and there's very bad treatment for this kind of stuff. So I was watching targeted individuals, super interesting. Okay, and the last thing is false prophets. Okay, so they say, false prophets are going to rise up, and these false prophets are going to deceive people, the Bible says. So how would you spot a false prophet? Well, I remember Jim Jones, a story about Jim Jones, and so two Adventist ladies decided to join the cult, right? And so they were going, and he was a very charismatic guy, evidently. And what he would do is he would target poor, vulnerable people, in the guise of helping them. And so what he did one day is he had a really, really high ladder, and he climbed to the top of the ladder, and he had a Bible in his hand. And essentially he said, "You don't need this because I'm your prophet." And he threw the Bible down on the ground, and he, as hard as he could. And when the Adventist ladies saw that, they ran out of the place as fast as they could. So for a false prophet, what you would see is small indications of falsehood. I mean, you would say, that don't seem right, Anyone who says that you don't need to stay to Christian values, or any prophecies that are not biblical is probably false. But on a false prophet, what you will see is small signs of falsehood. Like, I'll give you some. Okay, I forgot who the Christian guys were. One, he was pulled over with a hooker in the car. That is probably a bad sign of a false prophet. If they breaking the law and frauding seniors out of their what is this? Retirements and savings, and his dog had an air-conditioned doghouse, and he was living like a king, and finally he was arrested. That's like probably a false prophet, right? So with false prophets, you are always going to see these little chinks in the armor. You're going to see stuff. You're going to see adultery. You're going to see lying. You're going to see that kind of stuff. But what happens if you're a false prophet usually is that, you're dealing with like the devil. And what he's going to do is, when he gets done with you, he is going to, if he doesn't kill you, he's going to bring you into some terrible disgrace. You're going to be blackmailed. You're going to be ruined if you're not killed. So, usually the false prophets come to a bad end. And another thing about, these are charlatans, call them what you were. Usually what happens is all their bad deeds are brought to light. And so then, they're in public humiliation. So, okay, you guys, that's my chat on 3 Days of Darkness, Demons Among Us, Targeted Individuals, False Prophets, and a little bit on Venezuela. Now, this Venezuela thing, just one more thing, is super interesting, because it shows you that after some kind of a disaster, what is falling is this political upheaval. And the super scary thing is, take a look at that army. Those are children. So, okay, you guys, God bless you all.